Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Valley Culture Podcast, Season 2, Episode 3. We are so glad that you guys have tuned in and are watching us, or you're hearing us on Spotify or on Apple, Apple Podcasts. We are so happy. I am so excited for the guest that we have today. But before I introduce her, I want to thank today's episode sponsor, Imperial Valley Volkswagen. Thank you so much. If you guys are in search for a car or in need of a car, hit them up. The manager there is named Luis Sotelo. His phone number is 760-679-0000. Great customer service, and they are willing to help you to buy your next car. And without further ado, drum roll please, we have a special guest. Let me tell you a little bit about her before I tell you who she is, because I am pretty sure that a lot of you guys know her already. You guys have either seen her on social media, you guys have purchased a home from her, you guys have seen her at different events. She is very, very well known, and the guest for today's episode is Natalie Castro. Natalie, how are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome. We are so excited to have you. You were always on our radar.
Yay!
And we were just so excited to finally be able to send you a message. And thank you so much for accepting the invitation. And I always like interviewing girls because it's like girl power in the house. So I am excited. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Natalie.
About myself. Well, I've been in the industry for a total of 12 years now, but not in sales. The 12 years. I actually started in property management.
Okay.
So, and that is all thanks to a very good friend of mine. She knows who she is, who literally came up to me one day. I was renting. She was the manager at the apartments where we used to rent, and I'm like walking with one of my kids going into my house, and she stops me and she says, and this is all in her nature, "I'm so sorry, you're probably gonna think this is like so weird, but I've been looking at you for like a few days now."
Oh my goodness.
and I'm like, "No, that's not weird at all." But anyway, she's all, and I just think you seem like a very good person. Your husband does too, and I want to offer you a job. And I'm like, "A job?" I'm like a stay-at-home mom, you know, and okay, so what does this job entail? Well, you would have to be a property manager and live on site. And I'm like, "Here?" You know, and she's like, "No, it's another property." And I said, "Oh, okay, well, where's this property?" And she tells me, and I'm like, oh my God. Okay, well, let me go ahead and, talk it over with my husband.
Yes.
I tell my husband, he's like, "Are you crazy? That area is super bad." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's a really good opportunity." Yeah. She said they'll go ahead and remodel the apartment for us. Back then, I mean, we were just starting, you know, we had 2 little ones. One was crawling still. So the economy wasn't doing too well. So he would finish one project, stay home until the next project would start. He's an electrician by trade. And it wasn't the easiest time, you know. So I'm like, it's a start, you know. I go, it would help us. It will help us cover the rent. I would get some type of salary, I believe. I didn't even know, you know. And he's all, "Really, babe?" And I said, "Yeah." He's all, "Okay, well, if you really want to do it, let's do it." And I'm like, "We're doing it."
Oh my God.
Yay. So
de como que te cayó del cielo, not
así
even
del
looking
cielo,
for it.
ella me cayó del cielo, literally, like on my lap. And it was very hard, to be honest. We moved to this property. It was not the nicest property. Not the nicest people live there, you know. And I said, you know what? I just kept telling myself, it's a start. It's a start. It's a start. You're here to gain experience and nothing else. That's how you have to see it, right? And I did. I did it because it was flexible enough where I can work from home, take care of my babies, and still earn some income and some experience, right? So we did it until the day came where I walked out and my car was gone.
No.
I said, "Oh my God!" Like, my husband
so
was right.
what was like your first like reaction when you walked out? Like, did I park it in the wrong spot?
Yeah, I'm like, is my husband not home? Did he leave? I have the key. And I'm like,
no way.
Wait, what's going on? So I go back. I'm like, no, he's home.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my gosh, they stole my car. Dude, where's my car?
What a horrible feeling, though.
It was horrible. I was so upset. Besides having to deal with all the, ins and outs, the everyday with the tenants and everything there.
Yeah.
They had just stolen, I remember, my husband's tools. Hundreds of dollars in tools.
Oh my gosh.
He was just starting off too.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know, and I remember I told her, it was almost a year that we were going to be in that property. And I told her, I'm so sorry to do this to you, but I can't do this anymore, you know? And she's like, it's okay. I totally understand, you know? So she's like, but you know what? There might be something else coming up. I said, oh, okay. Well, can I please have my old townhome back, you know? And she's like, yes, it's it's available. So you can have it. Perfect. We moved back to the townhomes where we were at. We were super comfortable there. And a few weeks later, she decided to take on a bigger property and left that property up for grabs.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
So the general manager came over. She had a few interviews in place for that day. I think I was like the third one. And she looks at me and she goes, that's it. You're it. I'm hiring you.
Wow.
She calls and she's just canceled my interviews for the rest of the day. And I'm
That
like, so does
that's
that mean that I have it? Oh my God, you know?
That is so awesome.
So I left that property where I gained some experience.
Oh, definitely. If you're like, if I can do this property,
I can
dame
do
cualquiera. Like, I got this.
Yes. You know, type of
so
thing.
it kind of like, we always have to like look at perspective, right? So it's like, yes, but I bet you it taught you, like, if I can do this, like,
oh, definitely,
I can handle, anything.
Definitely, anything you throw my way, I'm going to be able to handle it when it comes to property management after dealing with that property, like I said. And I mean, it worked pretty well. I couldn't believe it. All of a sudden, I was in the property that we were so comfortable there. You know, like I had mentioned, we had lived there before. She was super awesome. I had some experience, so I got what I wanted from the previous job. Struggles and everything, stolen car and everything. We found it, by the way.
I was just gonna ask you that too. Like, car.
So I guess we must have left it unlocked, of course, rushing with the kids and everything, right? And because the car was the ones where they're kind of like a sensor, you know. The car was literally like right next to my window. So the key was really close, so they were able to turn it on and take it for a joyride. So
it happened like
overnight, I'm assuming during the night. We found it at the Brawley Inn.
No.
Yes, we went looking, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's my car!"
So you guys found it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we called the cops after we had already made the report, and they're like, "Oh wait, it's here. Like we just found it." They took my stroller, they took the car seat, and I'm like, well, I mean, at least I have my car.
It's like, I don't know. I mean, maybe they needed it.
Yeah,
maybe we have to look at it.
Right, they needed it more than I do, type of thing. So, yeah, anyway.
Pero no da coraje, pero pues,
Yeah, I mean, I was probably just a kid, you know, or I don't know, whatever. But I got my car back, and it was intact, so that was a good thing.
Yes.
But back to property management. So I started there.
Okay.
It was 50 units I started to manage. Got the hang of it.
At the other neighborhood?
Yes.
At the other, how many units did you manage there?
It was about 100 and some.
Wow.
Yeah, it was 1, 2, 3 complexes.
Okay.
So you can imagine.
Yeah.
That job is very demanding. I mean, every job is demanding, but I think every tenant that would come to my door at 1, 2 in the morning thought they were the only ones doing it, so it was okay type of thing. When everybody did it, you know. So I kind of had enough of the. Can you help me out? Someone's in my parking spot. And I'm like wiping my face, like trying to, wake up. And I'm like, I kind of got to the point where I was like, are you serious? I can't do this anymore, right? And that was even at the new property. I did that for 2 years.
Okay.
And it came to the point where I told my husband, he came home one day and he's like, what's wrong? I go, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore. But in between, before I forget, because this is where it all started.
Okay.
So before I started managing these townhomes, they were being sold individually. So there were some townhomes there that were privately owned, and some people lived there, but some had them as income properties.
Okay.
So I remember there was one that was up for grabs. They were looking for a property manager. So I figured, well, I'm already managing 50 of them. What's one more? You know, I went. I did the interview. And it kind of happened like when I got the job. I'm sitting there and I'm interviewing, answering all these questions, and a very well-known broker here in the Valley is who interviewed me, and he's the one that had the job. He looks at me, he's like, I'm so sorry, but just forget about this job. I have something way better for you.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, what? I came to interview for a townhome, you know?
Yeah.
And he said, I'm offering you to get your real estate license, and you'll have a job with me as soon as you get your license. Not only that, but I'll reimburse you for all your expenses.
Oh my goodness.
So it kind of was a shock, you know? I was like, what? And why would someone offer this? He doesn't even know me, you know? But I told my husband, he's all, are you sure? Like, you're already doing this full time? And I'm like, well, I don't know. It was kind of like, it stayed in my head, you know? And my husband had always told me, you need to be in sales. Yeah. Selling cars, selling houses, selling something. Vende algo, you know? And I'm like, well, why? You know, I was just so wrapped up in I have 2 little toddlers at home, and I'm so busy, and now I have a full-time job at the property management. But it kind of stayed that way, right? And I remember I went to go visit my mom, and I sat down and I go, oye, Sama, can I speak in Spanish?
Yes, of course. I love Spanish. I do it all the time. Spanish is my language.
I can turn it on and off.
Spanish is my language. We're good.
It's all good. I go, oye, Sama, tuve una entrevista, ¿te acuerdas que te mencioné? And she's like, oh, sí, mija. And I'm like, pues fíjate que el señor que me hizo la entrevista me ofreció que agarrara mi licencia como agente de vender casas, real estate agent. Pero pues no sé, ¿verdad? And, ¿y cuánto te sale, mija? Pues me fijé y está como a 450, algo así el curso. She gets up, like literally she gets up, goes to her room, and she brings me the cash. And she said, cómprate el curso. And I'm like, what? I'm doing this?
Yeah. Oh my God, that is so cool.
So I went home and
it was just meant to be, because like doors were opening like left and right.
Left and right. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't expecting it. But I'm very grateful that happened, you know? So yeah, I went home and I told my husband when he got home from work, I go, I'm getting my real estate license. Yeah. You are? Yeah. I go, I don't know how easy it's going to be, but I'm going to get it. Yeah. You know? And he's like, well, I don't know when I'm going to study. I'll figure it out. Right? So I did. I got my course. And that was the hard part. I'm like, well, he's right. When am I going to study? I was there all day. Had to deal with, like I said, 2 little toddlers at the time. But I said, there's no other way but this. Like, I'm doing this. I remember I would stay up until 2, 3 in the morning studying, you know, going over my courses and everything. And for some reason, because real estate, your course is in 3 different there's 3 different courses that you have to complete. Okay, so it's like 3 different tests también? Okay. 3 different tests. Well, basically, it's like a quiz per book, right? Okay. Once you pass that quiz, you get a certificate. You have to print it out, and then the next book, and then the next book. Once you have all 3, then you're ready to take your state test. Okay. All of my books, all of my quizzes, I passed it on the very first try.
Oh my gosh, smart girl.
I'm going to my real estate, you know, test bright and early, and I passed it the first time. Wow. I was terrified because right before my time to go take my test, there was people coming out defeated. Yes. Defeated. Some ladies.
So did it kind of make you feel like, oh my gosh?
Yes. I'm like, oh my God, like is that gonna be me?
And so they dicen, like they'll tell you right then and there if you pass?
Right then and there. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if they do it now. I remember I saw, it's been such a long time. Yeah. I saw my percentage, right? And yeah, right then and there they tell you if you pass or not. So I mean, that's the kind of like the shock you get. Yeah. You literally walk out of the building and some people were bawling. Oh. I've taken it 3 times and I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh man, I don't stand a chance. Yeah. But then I'm like, no, I do. I'm prepared for this. Definitely. I've been doing this every night. Like I'm ready. So I went in there, took my test, and I was done. And a lot of people were still there. And I'm like, oh, for sure.
How long did that test usually last?
Oh, I don't remember anymore. Maybe an hour.
It's a long, okay.
So it's a long test. And I finished quicker than most. And I'm like, oh, for sure, I'm not passing it. You know, they're probably all wrong. That's why I finished so fast. Yes. And I go up there. They give me my my paper, and she's like, congratulations. And I'm like,
oh my
God,
gosh.
let's go celebrate, right?
Yes.
My husband was waiting outside with our babies, and I told them, and he's like, oh my God, like,
what a sweet moment going out there, seeing your husband, seeing the kiddos.
Yes. Like, after, watching all these people come in and out.
Después de todo el esfuerzo, you said 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning,
it was
studying
a lot.
and stuff. That's
I
awesome.
think it's, when you're determined, you're determined, and that's what helps you just stick to it and look at the goal long term, you know.
And I think a lot of people, or a lot of us, we can use like, oh, I have a family, I have kids, like I don't have the time, I'm not going to be able to do it as like obstacles, or as in like, or like excuses, not excuses, but like ways like I can't do it right now. But how like you didn't let that get to you, I think that's just awesome.
That's how I started. And don't get me wrong, those things do kind of set you back a bit, like I've always been one where I tell my nieces, like the ones that don't have kids, just do you right now, focus, get a goal and just focus, and determination is going to get you there. Right now that you don't have any children, right now that you're not married, it's a lot easier. I'm not saying it's impossible, because it's not impossible. I have a cousin who was a teenage mom, and now she's a lawyer. Like, she just worked through it.
So it runs in the family, girl.
I guess so.
Smart girl in the family.
And so that's what I try to, like, teach them, if anything, and they've seen me. I was, like I said, I did the whole, stay-at-home mom thing for a very long time. And then all of a sudden, this little just work bug just kind of, got a hold of me. And I love what I do. But it's just that, just a goal, setting a goal for yourself and working until you get it.
Yeah.
After that, I did, like I said, got my license. And I kind of held on to it for like a whole year.
Okay.
So
did you call the guy that had told you, like,
oh yes, okay, yes. So I passed my test, and I'm like, hey, remember me? And he's like, yeah, definitely. I said, well, I just got my real estate license. When do I start?
When do I get the reimbursement?
When do I get my money back? And I met with him again. He got me all set up in the office, gave me my reimbursement check, and I'm like, okay, let's do this, right? I was so busy with property management that I think the goal was to get it, and then I kind of went back what I was neglecting, my actual job at the moment. And it was almost a year, I believe, that I had my license, and I was like, I have to do something with this, right? And in this business and in most businesses, word of mouth, you know, hey, you know what? Natalie just got her real estate license. I had an aunt of mine who a coworker mentioned that they wanted to buy a property. They already owned one. They wanted to buy a property. She's like, my niece has her license. Why don't you speak with her? And so they did. They gave me a call, and I did the whole, okay, what is it that you're looking for? What I was taught, you asked this, and that. And we submitted an offer, and it got accepted.
Awesome. I want to get back to that. Your first sale, like I totally want to get back into that. So we're gonna go on a short little break. We're gonna show you guys a video that we at Precision Photography and Multimedia have produced. Hope you enjoy. We'll be back in a bit.
Hi guys, this is Dave Martinez from Imperial Valley Volkswagen. I want to invite you to our 4th of July Salathon. We have the best selection of inventory in months. Come and see us today. We have great financing options available. Take advantage and sell us your vehicle for top dollar, even if you don't buy one from us. Be part of the Volkswagen family, and remember, in Imperial Valley Volkswagen is just that easy.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thank you once again to Imperial Valley Volkswagen for sponsoring this episode, and Luis Sotelo, manager of Imperial Valley Volkswagen. If you have any questions or are in search for a brand new amazing car, you can reach him at 760-679-0000. And we are back with our guest of honor, Natalie Castro. And for those of you guys who haven't catched on yet on what she does, she is an amazing real estate agent. Natalie, thank you once again for being with us. So tell us a little bit about yourself. So where are you from? How long have you been living here in the Valley? Tell us a little bit about that.
I am an original from the Valley.
Awesome.
I wasn't born here, but I was raised here.
Okay.
Our mother raised myself and my sister, older sister and older brother here in the Valley. Okay. So I'm from Brawley. I'm a Brawley girl.
Okay. So desde que llegaste, you're from Brawley. That's where you've been. Okay.
Yeah, that's where we've been. Was raised there, went, elementary, junior high, Wildcat for life now.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I love my town. I know a lot of people, it doesn't have the best, reputation here in the
Yeah.
valley, but when you're from Brawley, it's home.
Yes.
It's home. I lived in Oregon.
Okay.
I was there for almost a year, but it was just way too cold for me.
Okay.
Way too cold. It was depressing. I would have to, I remember I would get up and I would scrape off ice from my
your
window, and I'm like,
windshield?
what is this? I'm not used to this.
Yes.
I was going out there after high school. I moved over there. My sister lives in Oregon now.
Okay.
She resides there. And I decided to go to beauty school.
Okay.
I'm a beauty school dropout.
What is that one song that I think it's a
beauty
Grease?
school dropout.
Beauty school
Yeah,
dropout.
that one. So my close friends that know me, I mean, that's the funny thing.
Pero si lo terminaste and everything?
No lo
was
acabé.
beauty school dropout.
Beauty school dropout.
Yeah.
I came home. I finished most of it. So then I met my husband. We got
Okay.
married and everything.
And you guys met in Brawley?
Yes,
Okay.
we met in
Aw.
Brawley. It's the funniest thing. I guess all my friends knew him. Like we were around the same circle,
Yeah.
but I had never met him in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay. It's
until
just
the
because it
day-
wasn't time yet.
It wasn't time yet. Everything comes at its
Yeah.
time. Until the day that we did, it was literally the day after I turned 19 years old.
Okay.
So I was a baby.
Aw.
So yeah, and we've been together for almost 20 years.
So you guys, how long after you guys met did you guys start dating? Because I know that your husband was in the military, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So he was in the military. He had just gotten back from Iraq.
Okay.
Yeah, when I met him, and a few months later, he decided to leave the Marines and just dedicate himself, to me, I guess,
Uh-huh.
family,
Yes.
and that's how we started. But yes, I'm original. I originated here in the valley and been here ever since.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So I know that when we first started the podcast, we got really excited y le dimos al grano. So
yes.
I just wanted to make sure we kind of went back just to introduce yourself, where you were from and how you started and everything. So let's get back to that first sell. Take me back there again.
First sell. Oh my God, it was a sell from hell. Oh my God.
Oh, goodness.
It was, I remember in between, I found out I was pregnant.
Okay.
I was big and pregnant. It was like summer.
Okay. And you already had
summertime.
2 little ones, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We had our last one, our piloncito, we call
Okay.
her. And I was big and pregnant. Got my offer accepted, and I'm like, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can do this. And started showing properties. It was super hot outside, and then we got the property that he submitted an offer on my client at the time, and it got accepted.
Okay.
It was an older home, right? Everything was wrong with it.
Yeah.
Everything was wrong with it, of course. It even had a septic tank. And when you're in the business, you don't run into those too often.
Yeah.
So it had a septic tank that needed to be pumped.
Okay, so let's go back. What is a septic tank? For those that don't know what.
It's basically when the home does not have plumbing.
Okay.
And it's the tank where all the waste goes to. And it
okay.
has to be emptied out every, 10 years or
Okay.
so. Ugh, I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, so everything was wrong with that sale. It extended. Usually a contract is from like 30, well, back then it was just 30 days. I think it went for like 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Right? And I was like, I don't think this is ever going to close.
Yeah.
My first deal. But
And he wanted that house no matter what.
He wanted that
Okay.
home no matter what. It had the space he needed.
Okay.
What he had in mind.
Vision,
It's like the vision he had in mind. He already was a homeowner in Brawley, but he wanted something big with space, right? And if you look at the house now, it looks nothing like it used to.
Okay, so
back
ya le
then.
arreglaron un montón.
Yes, he's done so much to it, and it's funny because every time I pass by, my kids already know. Yes, Mom, that's the first house you ever saw. I made sure I always told them that's the very first house I always sold. So and
that was
little
your
things
baby,
like that. Yeah. So got through with that one. Got another offer accepted, and it was also very hard.
Oh, man.
It had one of those like roll on or something they call roofs.
Okay.
It wasn't like shingle. It wasn't tile.
Okay.
So it needed to be redone. We couldn't find someone to redo it. And when the property is not in the best condition, you can't. The buyer cannot get the loan until the appraisal, the report is passing.
Alguien va and they like make sure it's up to code y todo lo que tiene que ser, right?
That you're in value for that the property is worth as much as you're in contract for. That it's in good condition. Basically, it's habitable.
Okay.
And that needed to be redone. So that took forever as well. And my third one, same thing.
Oh my goodness!
I got it was a bank owned.
Were you
home.
ever like, what am I doing?
right there,
Yeah.
right then and there.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this is so hard
Yeah.
and so stressful. Like
Yeah.
I don't think I want to do this,
Yeah.
you know. But I'm like, I'm not a quitter.
Yes.
You know.
That's right.
And I just pulled through it
Yeah.
and got done with my first 3 transactions, and then it got better.
Okay.
You know.
I felt like it was kind of like your first experience where it's like you went from, you know, going and doing like 100 and something homes where it was like it was really hard.
Yes.
But then you came and like you got to manage, you know, properties. And I feel like the same thing happened to you again. It was like, como que it builds your character.
It
like,
does.
Yeah.
It only prepares you for
Yeah.
what's next.
Yeah.
I mean, in life, you have to see everything. Don't give up when
Yeah.
you struggle.
Yeah.
Just use it as a learning experience, you know. And literally, those 3 transactions I learned how to manage a
Okay.
transaction. You know, I know this might come,
Mhm.
this might come, but let's do this, and
Yeah.
this, so we don't run into that again.
Awesome.
You know, so they were teachable
Yeah.
moments. That's how you have to see everything
Yeah.
in life. That's how I think. You know, most people, they run into, you know, problems and that's it. They throw
Yeah.
in the towel.
They take
And
it as a sign that it's not
yeah,
meant to be.
it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
It's a sign. It's 3 signs.
Yeah.
You know, 3 signs. So, but no, I mean, it got better. I just remember. I always had my babies through C-section,
Okay.
you know, and I was in the hospital, but at the time I was juggling 3 clients.
Oh
right?
my goodness.
That was a lot back
Yeah.
then, and they were like ready to go,
Yeah,
but Natalie had to give birth.
Yeah.
You know, and they were like, Natalie, it's okay. Like I remember my
Aw.
client was like, oh, you know, there's this home, but it's fine whenever you're ready. You know, I know you just had your baby, and I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I'm ready, like right now.
Aw.
And I remember I put her in a little sling and went to go show homes. Like she was a
No.
newborn.
Oh, she was your little,
yes,
but she was your little assistant.
yeah, and she was for
Yeah.
until she was like in her terrible twos where
Yeah.
I
You're
couldn't.
like,
I'm like, I can't do this
and you can't
anymore.
leave them in the car because it's against
Exactly.
the law.
I will tell you one story, and my client still remembers it to one day. So yeah, I mean, got through that and literally just went for it. I did it part-time,
Okay.
you know, part-time in the beginning.
So when you were you still managing the properties?
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, a lot.
And left that right away.
Okay.
Right. And then just dedicated myself to,
Real estate.
you know, real estate
Mhm.
and sales. And little by little, you know, I started getting more experience in
Yeah.
everything. I had 2 deals that I had back then with DMA real estate.
Okay.
Right. I was a DMA girl,
Mhm.
not until
I think that's
maybe-
how I remember
yes,
you with DMA.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was with them for 7 years.
Okay.
Best years
Aw.
ever. I learned so much from my past broker. And I had 2 deals with 2 of the guys there. So with him and with
Mhm.
another one. And out of nowhere, I get offered a job
Yeah.
with them. And the job was basically part-time.
Okay.
They're like, they offered me to be a TC, a transaction coordinator. In our
Okay.
business, a TC is someone who handles your transaction, like your paperwork.
Okay.
Keeps you in order so you can keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Keep focusing on your clients, on sales,
Okay.
on just bringing more, you know,
So you're
more
kind of like the
business.
behind the scenes and all that
Yes,
stuff. Okay.
behind the scenes, you know, they said you can keep doing what you're doing, selling, you know, as many
Yeah.
homes as you sell a year, and do this from home because we
Mhm.
know, you know, you work around your baby schedule. You
Yeah.
know, you have a little one and 2 more. So I'm like, okay, you know, I really like the idea.
Yeah.
More income, you
Mhm.
know, besides the sales or whatnot. And went home, and it was kind of like, maybe I'm not ready because
Yeah.
the baby's so little,
Yeah.
you know. And it's a funny thing. I remember I saw it. I don't know if it was on social media or
Mhm.
what. They had gotten a female agent.
Okay.
Oh my God. I just felt like something in me that just told me that was supposed to be you.
Yeah.
And I felt like, what did I do? Why did I pass that opportunity to join the #1 team in the Valley?
Yeah.
You know? So I kind of kicked myself in the
Mhm.
butt about it a bit,
Yeah.
you know? And then I get another call again
Okay.
from Garrett at the time. And he's like, hey, Natalie, I know we already went through this. You
Mhm.
said no, but please, I think you'd be a great fit for our team.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll
It was
do
really
it.
like what you were feeling like
Yeah.
you know, and then they call you like that.
And then they call me. I was like,
yeah.
it's meant to be.
It was like everything, todo lo que me compartes is like Natalie. I mean, you're just meant
Yeah.
to be there.
It
You're
was-
meant to be doing what you're
I
doing.
was meant to do
Yeah.
that. I was meant to be a part of DMA. And
yeah.
and I told my old broker, and don't get me wrong, I am so grateful
Yeah.
to him. You know, he gave me my start. He
Yeah.
gave me that opportunity. He opened up the doors for me, reimbursed
Yeah.
me for everything. I got some experience there, and I was able to take that,
Yeah.
you know, somewhere else and start a new chapter,
Yeah.
you know, in my career. And so I did. Man, I think I remember a friend of mine she still works for DME. We used to stay up. I used to stay up again
Yeah.
till 3, 2 in the morning working on files.
Yeah.
Right. So it got to a point where I think I had like 50 something files all at once.
Okay.
And I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I think I'm losing hair. And
that's like the worst thing that can happen to us. Like when you start seeing hair, you're like, oh my gosh.
I could not juggle so many, right? But I did it for a few years. I did it for
So 50 files means 50 homes?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this was coming from a company that was selling over 200 and some transactions, homes a year.
Oh,
so of course, and there's one TC, at the moment, plus our assistant that helped us as well. So it became a lot.
Yeah.
And I just decided, you know what, I've kept going through the years. My production has increased even with the files that I'm working on.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready to be a full-time agent.
Okay.
Right. And went to my broker and I mentioned it to him. He's like, Natalie, whatever you want to do.
Wow.
Whatever you want to do, if you feel like you're ready to be a full-time agent, I'm here to support you 100%. And he always was. Oh. So I did it. I just went full throttle and started getting more into sales. It helps the fact that, we get told that we're very well known in the valley. I'm like, I don't know. I just meet new people all the time, But my husband's in politics, as you guys know. He's a veteran advocate. So we do have a big circle of people that we know. And most of my business comes from that. Okay. From my sphere of influence, we like to call it. And my past clients.
Okay. A lot of your clients that have bought from you, like what for the first time they've come back. That's
repeat clients. Yeah. Once you get to that point in your career, it's comforting in a way, because
it speaks about you and your customer service and how they keep coming back to you because they like what you offer. Yeah,
exactly. How at the end of the day, if you make your clients feel comfortable, if you help them achieve their goals, they're going to keep coming back and they're going to refer you. Yeah. I've always said that I think the calls that I love the most are the ones I get in there. Hey, Natalie, I was referred to you by so-and-so. I heard that they had a great experience with you and we want the same. Yeah. I'm like, and I'm all for it. Yes. I'm here to give you the same experience to you, to your family members, to your friends. I'm here.
And that's awesome because I think for a lot of people, I mean, we haven't had that experience yet, but I know one day, pretty soon, we are going to have that opportunity to buy a home. But it's just like, I think you're already a little nervous about it and you don't know what to go into. So having an agent that makes you feel comfortable and makes you feel welcome, like, I think it takes a little bit of that weight off, right?
Definitely.
How do you think
that? Yes. You will not believe, like, and I hear it a lot again, over and over. We are so nervous. Yeah. We're so scared to do this. This is our very first time. Yeah. I'm like, I love that. Yes. I love that because I'm going to show you how easy it can be when you have the right person behind you, holding your hand throughout the transaction from start to finish. Okay. So every single time somebody reaches out to you and you're their first point of contact, they have to feel that even through the phone. Like the security and just comfort that they know that they're speaking to the right person, and then once you get to meet them in person and you build rapport, it's even better. Because they feel comfortable. Oh, we're so glad we met with you in person. We put a face to that voice over the phone, and now we're even more excited to do this. And it is because it is one of the biggest or most important transactions that you're going to make in your lifetime. And that's where you get started. And a lot of people, if they do it well, they take care of their current home. All a home does is gain equity. It gains value. Yeah. And in return, you're paying it down, so you can just turn around and sell it. See it like as a mini savings account type of thing, and then most people, they start with their very first home, a starter, a starter home. And from there, they upgrade to the home of their dreams, or they get into investing. They start buying income properties. And some people who are very, very savvy about it, there's loans that you can use to purchase a property, let's say like a 2-unit, 3-unit property, live in one and rent the other 2. They're paying for your mortgage. Yes.
Smart. So that's smart.
It's very smart. So I do get a lot of clients like that. But pride and joy are my repeat clients,
Aw.
you know, because like you mentioned, it speaks volumes
Yeah.
of who you are and as a person and as a professional,
Yeah.
you know, so yes.
Awesome. So I know you said your first 3 were difficult. Have you had difficult ones
Oh,
still
yeah.
to this date? Yeah.
Till this day, I think every transaction, every sale is completely different.
Yeah.
You learn something new every single time. I mean, I've had a few, not too many, but I've had a few that have canceled,
Yeah.
you know, almost at the end.
No.
I had one that canceled right before I was supposed to hand my clients the keys. Oh my God.
So this, like, what do you mean? Like the seller canceled, or how
The
does
buyer.
the buyer canceled?
The
Okay.
buyer canceled. I guess he got cold feet from
Yeah.
what I remember.
Yeah.
Got cold feet and just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
He went through his appraisal, through his home inspection.
Yeah.
There's, you know, in your transaction, there's different inspections that
Yeah.
have to be done in order for you to get the home. He did everything.
Yeah.
And then decided, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know exactly what happened,
Yeah.
but he canceled.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I was like, wow, like, and it wasn't easy either,
Yeah.
right? They struggled to get him approved
Yeah.
and everything, and at the end, he disappeared. Never have I heard from him again.
Yes. Oh
Never.
my gosh.
I don't remember his name
Yeah.
anymore, but yeah, that one wasn't easy. But every single transaction, something comes up.
Yeah.
Something comes up, but it's fine. You know,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's part of the part of the business.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Awesome. So we are going to go. If you guys are enjoying this episode, don't forget to subscribe. Give us a like so you can be notified. This will be airing on Friday. What is Friday? Let me see. Friday 19, 20, 21, 22. 22nd of July, 2022. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. If you are enjoying this episode, leave us a comment down below. We are going to show you one of our other videos that we at Precision Photography and Multimedia have produced. Hope you enjoy. Hey, this is Becca from Precision. Summer is upon us and we can definitely feel it. And if you are a business owner, then we have great news for you. Is your business slowing down during the summer? Are you struggling to get customers through your doors? Did you know that 63% of businesses have increased their digital marketing budget in the last year? And that 79% of shoppers have made a decision purchase after watching a video? Well, the great news is we are launching a summer special just for you and your business. Send us a message today for more info. Awesome. You guys don't want to miss this opportunity. Great opportunity. With us here at Precision Photography and Multimedia, our summer special in August. So send us a message and we will respond and be glad to work for you and your business to create content that you could upload to social media and get more customers and more clients to your business. And once again, we would like to thank our today's sponsor, Imperial Valley Volkswagen. If you are in need or in search for a car, hit them up. Great customer service. Hit up Luis Sotelo, manager of Imperial Valley Volkswagen. You won't regret it. They are amazing and amazing cars. His phone number is 760-679-0000. And we are here with Natalie Castro, real estate agent. So, Natalie, I remember you telling me in our conversation earlier that you were with DMA, no longer with them. Talk to us about that.
So, yes, I was with DMA Real Estate for 7 years. Last year, I had the opportunity to become, opportunity, I guess I would say. I took it and I ran with it.
Yeah.
I came out as the #1 producer of the company last year. So, it was a
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a big accomplishment.
Yes.
Took a lot of work.
Yeah.
In, day out. But it got done, you know. And but I had... in the back of my mind, I had already been thinking about going on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of decided to do it.
Okay.
Got brave, did my research, and it was so hard, you know, to let my broker know that I was going to go on my own. But I built up the courage and I did. And so far, I started out. I brought Real Brokerage to the Valley.
Okay.
It's an online brokerage that I am now under. And I have a coworker with me as well, and we've been getting our systems in place and everything that we need to do to get going. I started that in June, and I now have 2 people who are helping me out.
Okay.
You know, I have a inbound sales associate that helps me make calls, because in this business it's all about calls and who you contact on a daily basis to get more out of it, you know. So I'm doing that. I have someone who's helping me with my files now.
Okay.
That takes off a lot of, work off my shoulders.
Yeah.
So that's helped out a lot. So slowly I'm getting going with that. And the goal is to hopefully maybe in the next year or two, also become a broker myself
Awesome.
and, open up my own brokerage. But
And from what you have told me and your story from the beginning to now, like, I mean, what is impossible for Natalie? Like, you defy the odds and nothing, whatever goal you set before you, you go for it. So I know that, soon we'll have you here again. You'll be like, well, now Natalie Castro, real estate agent and broker. That's how I'm going to be introducing you.
yes, definitely. That's in my future,
Awesome.
and hopefully that goes well. For many years, obviously, my children have seen, my growth in the business, and to them it's whatever, mom.
Yeah.
We have a working mom,
Yeah.
but I always, you're going to continue my
Yeah.
business.
Yes.
And you're going to continue my business. So I think by now they know that they're
Yes.
going to continue my business.
Awesome.
Like we have raised our children to have their own goals.
Okay.
One wants to be an engineer, the other wants to be a psychologist. The little one, she still has no clue. She
Yeah.
loves TikTok, stuff like that. But they, and I know, and we encourage their dreams,
Yeah.
but I always encourage them as well to get their license, to
Yeah.
have it as a backup plan.
Yeah.
I go, you can't imagine like the possibilities, like
Yeah.
how much in this business and in every business, when you're self-employed, I mean, you got to work for it, but
Yeah.
there's so much opportunity
Yeah.
out there to make really good money
Yeah.
if you really dedicate yourself to it. So I want that for them. I always want them to feel like they can pursue their own dreams,
Yeah.
have their own dreams and goals, but also know that we work so hard to build a business
Yeah.
that they can also profit from in the future, and hopefully continue
Yeah.
make it a family
Yeah.
business.
What about the little one? I wanted to go back little steps back, because I remember we were talking about your daughter.
Mhm.
Y que la llevaste you took her, sorry, you took her with you on a cell. And then I had mentioned something about, well, we can't leave them in the car.
Oh,
And you were going to share a story, but
yes.
we started talking about something else. Share that with me.
So it's a very funny story. I have some really good clients of mine. They're also business owners here at Terrazas family.
Okay.
They sell insurance for
Okay.
Terrazas. Hi, Freddie. And Lucy.
Shout out
they're-
to Freddie.
Yeah, shout out to Freddie. They're really good people. I was helping them find their home, and she was little, right? And I had to get her off.
Yeah.
And then somehow one of the homes that I was showing, they had a big dog in the backyard.
Okay.
We didn't notice that we left the front door open, and we were going through the
Yeah.
home. We open up the backyard, and the dog just
Booked it.
charges.
Yes.
He books it out the house. He was a big dog. It wasn't a
Yes.
small one. And I'm like, I have to go get it.
Oh,
right?
no.
So I go outside. The dog kept running
Yeah.
and running, and finally
You
got
were like,
tired.
con tacones and
Yes,
everything.
I was in my tacones with my little one with
Oh
me,
my gosh.
and I'm like, okay, what do? I can't
Yeah.
leave her with Freddie.
Yeah.
I can't go. Oh my God. So I did. I'm like, Mama, stay right here, right? And she
Aw.
stayed there, and I
How old
go.
was she?
She was 2, 3.
Oh, estaba chiquita.
Estaba chiquitita,
Yeah.
like literally. And I go and get the dog, and the dog does not want to come back. He literally like sits down, and I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
what if I like tug on him too and he bites
Yeah,
me?
you
It
don't
was
know,
a
nunca
German
se sabe.
Shepherd. You just never know. No, he was the sweetest thing
Oh.
ever, and he finally looked at me, and he probably saw the
And
desperation
you're
in my
probably like,
face.
please, please.
Please help me.
I need to make this
Yeah,
salad.
I need to do this. Please help me out. He kind of looked at me and then like,
Aw.
okay.
Fine.
And he just walked back with me.
That's
I
so
had him by
funny.
the collar, and I put him back inside, and I look at my client, he's just laughing.
He said, "Paz, Freddie, te pasas,
No,
Freddie."
he was laughing. And until this day, he's like, Natalie, remember that dog? I'm
Yeah.
like, yes. Oh my God. So there's so many different stories. Good ones, funny ones, really bad ones.
Yeah.
Like, oh my. In this business, you literally, I mean, you're dealing with
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
people, and you know what I mean? And it just,
You
there's a lot of
took me
stories.
there, so now I have to ask. Okay, what has been your worst and your best? Start off with whatever when you want.
Oh, the worst.
Yeah. Okay.
This was still back in property management. It was on a weekend. I think it was a Sunday, and I had a tenant who was he was a bit ill. You can just see it, and but he lived on his own, so he seemed like he was okay to live on his own. And then all of a sudden I get a knock at my door, and it's his daughter. And she's like, I'm so sorry to bother you on a weekend, but I'm always in contact with my father, and he hasn't answered in days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not supposed to do this, I said, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it for you. So I took it as a health check, you know? And we went in there. I gave her the key because I wasn't allowed to just literally go in there. You have to give 24-hour notices to go in, and everything's you go by the rules, right? But when I saw that desperation in her face, I'm like, forget the rules. Like, I need to help her, right? So I said, here you go. Here are the keys. She opened up, and just her expression, I was like, oh my, there's something not good in there, right? She hit the floor like crying, and her father had passed away.
Oh my God.
And he had been there for about 3 days already. So you can imagine how bad that was. I again had my daughter on my hip. And I had to call the cops, you know, notify the authorities, and they came, firefighters and everything. And they rolled him out in a bag. He was a very frail man. That bag was huge.
So se había hinchado.
It was like, if she wouldn't have got there that day, it wouldn't have been nice. Even worse, you know? And that smell, it's a smell that you, if you ever run into it, you will never forget.
Oh, wow.
It is horrible. The worst smell ever. And I can still, talking about it,
can go back. It's
I
so
can
funny
go
how
back
and even like it just everything.
I feel like I can even smell. It's so bad.
Traele una candle.
I know, right?
Air freshener.
And I remember that stench, like the tenants complaining that, you know, it wouldn't go away, and it didn't. I had my maintenance guys in there scrubbing, bleaching, painting.
It penetrates.
It penetrates. It's such a strong smell. And finally the smell went away. Like everything with time, it goes away, you know. And it took a few weeks for that smell to finally be gone. I'm sure there's still tenants there that remember that day, like, because I remember walking out. It was kind of like a blur, you know, like I have my daughter here, I have cops, I have, you know, firefighters, and I can see the people like coming out, and like what's going on. That wasn't the most pleasant experience ever, but it is what it is. You know, those are different times that you have to.
So were there times, I know you were telling me that your husband was in the military. We've had the pleasure of talking and working with Ramon. Was a lot of these moments was he like out, like in the military, or was he already back?
No, when Ramon and I met, he was in the military for just a few months, and then that was it.
Okay.
He stepped out. He got an honorable discharge. So no, he wasn't. And that day, I didn't even tell him. I think I stood there on site, handled it, and then went home and told him what I had just experienced. He's like, why didn't you come and bring me the baby? I was like, I didn't have time for that.
And then it's like it's in the moment that you don't even know what's going on. Exactly. I've had moments like that where it's just like, what is happening is just like it's like kind of like a traumatic experience.
It was. It really was. I will never forget it, you know, and I don't know who else has gone through stuff like this, but that was one of the moments that sticks out the most in my real estate, you know, career. But and I remember calling my friend who was the manager. I was assistant manager at that property, and she was like, what? Oh my God, like I would have never been able to deal with it. I'm like, well, I mean, there's little things, you know. And it's funny because I've been recognized like at companies when I was in property management. I want to give this award to somebody who calls me after everything just hit the fan and she took care of it. That's when she lets me know. I'm like, oh, I kind of have done that. Like I just kind of go into let's save this mode, and then I'll deal with whatever comes next.
And that's how I know that whatever goal, and even now that, you know, you're doing your own thing right now, I know the sky's the limit for you, because I'm so excited for what's to come. And like I said, I know that the next time we have you, I'm going to be introducing you Natalie, real estate and broker. Like it's gonna be great. And
thank you.
And okay, now let's go to that. That was a very hard experience. Tell us about a great experience or something that was just, you know,
great experiences. It's funny because I think,
or even a funny story, something that funny that happened to you.
I don't think I can think of. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty. I
Yeah.
just can't. Those are the ones that stick
out the most?
Stick out
Okay.
the most. I think just a great experience overall is every single time. And I think any agent that loves what they're doing is going to tell you the same thing. The best moment is when you get to hand the keys to your clients after you've had a good deal, after you've had a rocky deal, after, just everything. It's the end goal, welcome to your new home. And you hand those keys over and it's just kind of like,
it's kind of like we did it. Like, 'cause you're part of it. It's like,
we did it.
Yeah.
We got you here. And I'm very happy that you get to start a new chapter in your brand new home.
Yes.
Because that's what it is. No matter what, people, it's a new chapter. If they're brand new homeowners, if they're upgrading, if they're downgrading because their kids now, they're empty nesters and their kids left the home and now they want a 2-bedroom so they don't come back.
To make sure. No cabes. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I would love to have you in your, but you just don't fit.
Yeah. And it's so funny because I hear that a lot. Yeah. Maybe a 1-bedroom so they don't feel like they can come back.
That's so
it's funny. But I mean, it's just the whole experience, taking someone from, beginning to the end goal, which is whether it's selling or it's buying. It's a goal of theirs, So that's just, it's what I've learned throughout the years is just enjoy the process. I enjoy helping people just achieve their real estate goals. And I've met so many different people, and so far I have really good relationships with all my clients. Awesome. We keep in contact. If I always let them know, don't feel just because we close a transaction and I handed you your keys, like I'm no longer here. Like I'm literally your real estate agent for life. Yeah. And they will call me with like insurance questions, and I don't always have the answers, but I point them to the right direction.
That's awesome.
It's still my job to take care of my clients. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong in this business is they don't nurture their clients. Most people, and I've heard it over and over, they come to me from someone else. I really feel comfortable with you. We told this person that we only qualified for this much, and after that it was kind of like, forget it. And I see it, whether you qualify for 150,000 to 500,000, you're still a client, and that's still business, and it's still your job to represent them to the fullest. And not only because of what you're going to make from them, it shouldn't be that way. It's to help out people. And if you're smart about it, those people might refer you to somebody that can qualify for more. Exactly. It's just an ongoing circle, you know. If you do the right thing and you take care of people, you're going to get that in return.
Oh, that's definitely. That's so awesome. And then I was going to tell you, so Natalie, tell us about what advice do you have for first-time home-time buyers, or people maybe not first-time buyers, but seeking to rebuy a house, or people that don't know what it's like don't know what the first step is to buying a house. Walk us through that.
Okay. And good you asked, because that's one of the questions that I get asked the most. What's the first step? Most people, they don't know where to start, and because of that, they never start, until they run into someone that can point them in the right direction. Very first step, when you come to me as a client, I'm going to ask you what it is that you need, or what you're looking for, or what you're wanting to do. And then if you're looking to buy, I'm going to refer you to the right person. That's going to let you know, hey, you know what? At the moment, you qualify for this type of loan for this amount, and you need to have this much in savings. So once they know how much they qualify for, what program they'll be using when it comes to their home loan, then I know what to structure in regards to a search. You know, they're looking at Imperial, in Brawley, in Calexico. Now I know how it is that I can help them, right? And not most times, but a lot of times, people will go sit down with a loan officer, a lender that's going to help them with their loan, and they might not qualify for it at the moment, right? But that's not the end. If you know that you have a goal in mind, but you cannot accomplish it at the moment, well, what is it that I need to do to accomplish my goal, right? So whoever I send you to, I work with a lot of local lenders here that will take their time. They're super great. I know you had Oscar Garcia here.
Yes, we did. Yes.
Yeah, he's one of the ones that I've known for a very long time.
Well, that's how we met you, through Oscar.
Exactly.
Oscar did like an event in Los Cabos, right? And he had invited us, and he raffled a video, and you won that video. So that's how we met you. That was, it was great. Yeah.
And I did the good deed, and I gave it to my husband.
You did. You did.
No, my pleasure. It turned out great, by the way.
Oh,
Thank you so much. So, yeah, I mean, I'll point you to a lender that can help you. And if you don't qualify at the moment, they'll let you know. They'll send you home with a plan of what it is that you need to do to fix your finances, your credit, to get you to become a homeowner as soon as possible. So, again, if you don't know what to do, give me a call.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure that I can point you in the right direction so, you can get started with the process. Because if you don't start, then it's never going to become a reality. You need to start somewhere.
Yes, definitely. So do you have like a lot of people that come in and it's just like, I want to buy this house and they have their eyes fixed and you have to tell them, look at like you're aiming or how?
A lot of people, their first idea of buying a home is let's go look at homes.
Yes.
And I have to bring them back and explain the fact that I need to know how much they qualify for. Because the last thing that I want to do to one of my clients is show them homes that we don't know if they're in their price range or not. Because it's heartbreaking to go look at a home, fall in love with it, and then find out that you can't afford it. And that's not something that I want my clients to go through.
Yes.
I want to make sure that you know what you can qualify for, so then we can meet your expectations.
Yes.
At the end of the day, that's what we need to do. And some people might not like it; they just want to go look at homes. But then that kind of determines the how serious it is, And most people listen.
Yeah, it's funny because whenever like I said, we haven't had the opportunity to buy a home, but my dad always taught me whenever we would go look at when I got my first car, we would go look at cars. And it's something that I'm almost like it's already trained with. It's like when I get there, it's like I don't want to see anything. This is how much I can pay, run it, and then let's see the card. Because I don't want to fall in love with something that, like, it's going to, like, break my heart.
Exactly.
So, yes.
And then it applies to everything, especially a home.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is something that's very important.
Oh, awesome. Oh, well, thank you so much, Natalie, for being here. And before we end this segment, what is something that you would, an advice that you can give somebody that's looking to pursue a career in real estate?
Definitely go for it.
Yeah.
I preach it all the time to the people that I know who are close to me. Go for it. Go for it. The possibilities are endless. And if you have a goal in mind and this is something that you want to do, it's just go for it.
Awesome.
Go for it just like I did. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help someone that's looking to get answers or dig into the business a bit more.
Okay.
I don't shy away from that at all.
That's awesome. So before we leave, I also want you to share. I know that you have your own place right now, your own business, your own location. So if you can let our viewers know how or where they can contact you, your hours and all that great stuff.
Okay. If you ask my husband, 24/7, you can shoot me a text, give me a call. I'm available most of the time for my clients. I am currently at 1402 Pico Road here at Valley Premier. That's where I'm working out of right now. And yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, feel free to call me, 760-851-2719.
Awesome. And then we're also going to leave Natalie's information down below where you can contact her, where she is located. If you are in the need or are searching to buy a home, I mean, what better person? You've seen her here. She shared her story. And just, thank you so much for sitting down with us and sharing that with us, Natalie. And, I know you guys won't regret it. And she could make your home dreams come true and point you guys in the right direction. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and we'll see you soon.